Okay, my name's Spider. I just watched Into the Spider-Verse, so. The chapter is actually called what? Kuma's Tyrant Rampage Throughout the Land. So I guess Kuma went to Mary Joa and he was just wreaking havoc over there, right? But that's not really what the chapter is about. But that's like, Oda's a YouTuber. That's why the live action was so successful because, well, Oda knows how to promote things and mislead. Not mislead, I'm not kidding. Now, let's really get to the chapter. Cover page, Jinbei with fish. I never thought I'd see Jinbei with fish. Okay, I don't want to downplay the cover story, or the cover page, not a cover story, because that's canon. The cover page, cover art request, not as interesting to me, but I like just seeing Jinbei, so, not much to say there. So apparently Kuma's been rampaging ever since he left Kamabaka Kingdom, right? Dragon tried to desperately reach out after him. Kuma has slapped himself to the red line, got stuck there, and now he's rampaging, and they sent basically fodder to go try to corral him. You know what? This is a warlord, or former warlord of the sea, but as Akainu states, Akainu's in this chapter, but that sounds crazy to say. But as Akainu states, this summer is almost coming to an end, and going out with your friends to all kinds of events or parties can get very costly. So today I want to talk to you about something that hits close to home for many of us. You know that feeling. Dave is the banking app that helps you get up to $500 in just a few minutes with extra cash. And the best part? No interest, late fees, or credit check. Imagine having more money in your pocket to fill up your tank, finally get your car repaired, or catch up on bills. Dave gives you the financial relief you need without having to wait for your next paycheck. I'm not the only one who thinks Dave is a game changer. Millions of people have already downloaded the Dave app and experience the peace of mind that comes with extra cash. So if you're in a pinch and need that extra help, download Dave today and think of it as a helping hand from future you. To get started, just go to dave.com/BDA and sign up for an extra cash account. You could get up to $500 instantly. That's dave.com/BDA, and for terms and conditions, check out dave.com/legal. This year, let's face unexpected expenses head on and take control of our finances. Dave is here to help you start the new year off on the right foot. Banking services provided by Evolve, member FDIC. They thought that Kuma was done, like he was out of his mind, like he was just stupid now. But Kuma still has retained some of his sense of self or programming, and he's just following orders at this point because we're not sure what's triggering these things, because even the robot later in the chapter, we'll talk about that, it was triggered by something, but it more than likely was music for the robot. For Kuma, he left before Luffy went to Gear 5, so that's not what triggered him. Right? So it gotta be something else. Could be, again, pre-installed orders that he's following, like protecting the Sunny. Right now, it's like destroying the red line or wreaking havoc in Mary Joa as much as you can. I don't know. Kuma's story, it's wild because we still haven't pieced it together. We have parts of it. Jinbei's told his part, Bonnie's told her part. We've seen some of Kuma's flashback. What is the actual deal? What is true, what's not? We don't know yet. However, all this somehow is speculated to be somewhat tied to God Valley. How did I jump from Kuma to God Valley? Well, I'll tell you. We saw Kuma's backstory, and we know he was a former slave, and they were using him for his body. Doesn't sound like what you think it is, but they were using him for his body. His body was built different. Like that race that they talk about, like the special race of just big black, they didn't say black, but just big, strong people that their bodies are just different. People are speculating that Kuma could have been on God Valley as one of those people, and he witnessed the great Roger and Garp do crazy things against the Rocks Pirates. So again, Oda could be setting up like this masterful climax, one of epic proportions that you've never felt before. Seriously, with God Valley and intertwining not everybody's, but some of the main characters, or main characters in regards to the outside of the Straw Hats, obviously. Some of those guys' lives and how God Valley, just like Roger's execution, had a part to play. Because there are a lot of major characters, they're tied to God Valley. And God Valley, we get more context, like Garling, we found out about him a few months ago at this point. Doesn't seem like there was that many chapters ago, but it was a few months considering the breaks. Good thing, good news, early, no breaks next week. No break next week. We get another chapter. Hopefully nothing happens, goes wrong. Now, Kuma's wreaking havoc. When I first saw him, on bended knee, I'm like, who's this guy walking up? Like Dragon came to mind. I didn't think it was the magma goat, the big red dog. I didn't think Clifford would come out himself to help Kuma, or not help Kuma, eradicate Kuma. Akainu has finally been freed from the shackles of the desk the computer desk that can go up and down. He can stand and work if he wants to. He has been freed from the shackles. You know how long it's been since Akainu's done something in the chapter, like in the story? Marineford. Literally Marineford. Or you can talk about post Marineford when he pulled up on Blackbeard and had that conversation with Bonnie. Speaking of, Oda left out pertinent information about that because Akainu said, you know, we were worried when you'd escaped. What he talked about in this chapter doesn't indicate necessarily worried, but the Admiral seemed to know Bonnie. Did Bonnie grow up within Mary Joa? Right? Because Kizaru makes reference to her being a friend. Is she older than we think? There's so many mysteries that like they go unnoticed, but I caught it. Oda, you can't fool me again. Maybe a few more times, but that's it. Anyway, I'm not gonna lie, I felt something when I saw Akainu walking out there and actually doing something again. Like, how do you have your franchise player, right, just on IR? Either way, you have one of your best fighters, right? It's going wrong. Things are going badly for the world government right now, right? Yeah, the Seraphim exists, but things are not going very well. Send him out there. But I do understand the Fleet Admiral, that's not really their role, right? That's why Garp didn't want to be an admiral, because he wants to move around. So if an admiral can barely move around and has to be, you know, basically directed by the Celestial Dragons and the Gorosei, Fleet Admiral, you're a lot more tied up. Like when Akainu became Fleet Admiral, I never thought he'd be this level-headed. But something we got to think about, he's only been Fleet Admiral for like 3 or 4 months, max. Yeah, the time skip, it hasn't been that long, right? So technically, we're not sure exactly when he got promoted, but for the most part, like if we're not including the 2-year time skip, post time skip, it's been a few months, literally. And so he hasn't had that much time to move, but ever since the Straw Hats started moving again, it's been a few months. So it's gonna take some time. When we just basically look at everything that's happened in a few months, a lot has changed. Warlords abolished, Seraphim, Reverie, infiltration. Like it's been a lot going good and bad, mostly bad for the world government, but hey, go out there. And so we're finally seeing him do something, and I'm happy about that. Now, in regards to what happened, I mean, it's expected. It is cool to confirm that Akainu, he loves that move. Like Whitebeard was just a victim of circumstance, all right? Him getting his head taken off, yeah, that's just what happens. That's what Akainu does. He just takes your head off. Went back and looked at Aokiji. He has a scar on his neck, right there by his shoulder. He tried it with Aokiji too. Yeah, Aokiji's like, oh, damn it, right? His hair is still long, so he didn't even catch his hair. Caught his neck. He tried it at 100%. So that was cool to see. I mean, Kuma just slapped his ass and ran away. I mean, what is he gonna do? He's not really in his right mind. And it's Akainu, right? It's the Magma Goat. It's Clifford. It's the big red dog. Like that's just what he does. Just good stuff, right? Good stuff. Akainu's better than me though. Like really better than me, because you have these fodder, right? These celestial dragons, these slaves. I don't want to say it's not slaves, but these people that just talking smack. You call yourself the Fleet Admiral? You let them get away even though I'm like, bro, I would have melted a few of them already. No body, no face, no case. What you gonna find? It's magma. Goodbye. More patience than me. Like again, Akainu has been showing a lot more restraint, again, as a Fleet Admiral, because he was a menace in Marineford. Menace. So, I mean, screw the Celestial Dragons. I do not like them. Like, I do not like Celestial Dragons. For real. Unless it's Doflamingo. And Corazon. And Moscar. Okay, you get the point. There are a few that you like, but for the most part, they're scum. Matter of fact, they're lower than scum. Again, I'm really interested in this Bonnie thing and seeing where this goes, because she has, it seems like it's like a first thing basis between her and the Admiral. So I'm intrigued to know if like this person isn't who we think she is. Okay, let's make this easier. This person in Bonnie, she's a lot more important than we think. And they seem to have affiliation. They were worried about her escape. Kizaru knows her personally because she's a friend. What's going on here? I'm really intrigued by that. Really, really intrigued. But we got to get to the main event. Main event time. Whoa, wait. Before the main event, got to address something. As much as I like Akainu, what are you talking about? Well, okay. He said Kuma lost his will, his mind, and everything. And he's just a puppet now. Akainu, that's very ironic coming from you, considering that that's how I felt about you for most of the time skip. You're like, you're just a puppet. You just sit behind a desk grading papers. I I don't know, like approving timesheets. What the don't say that to anyone. It opens you up for criticism. Now, we go back to Egghead. They're destroying the sea beasts because sea beasts, they're annoying for the world government and they don't want them there because, like I said, they're annoying. Kizaru versus Luffy's on the way and Luffy is now in Snake Man, which makes sense considering that he's fighting a light man that's really fast and Luffy is landing more than light punches because he's really strong. Let's end that bit. Now, again, Luffy and Kizaru is fighting. It's exciting because a lot of people have been asking for Yonko versus Admiral and now we're getting, technically it's Yonko versus Admiral. I know a lot of people don't look at Luffy as a fully fledged Yonko, which is insane because the same people that argue that people aren't respecting Luffy as a full-fledged Yonko is now using that same excuse saying, well, how can we say Luffy is a Yonko fighting an Admiral when he just became a Yonko? You can't have it both ways. Which one is it? Is he a full-fledged Yonko or is he not? For all intents and purposes, he is. So Yonko versus Admiral. And is going as I expected for the most part. Luffy, he's not a fast starter. Right? Like Luffy struggles initially when he's fighting. Doesn't matter how strong he is, he can get overwhelmed early. If you want to beat Luffy, you have to overwhelm him and put him down early because he adapts. I think his greatest strength in battle is his ability to endure and adapt. So the longer you fight him, the more your chances of winning dwindles. So Kizaru getting the upper hand early, that's expected. That's how Luffy's fights go, especially in shonen. Like the main character, the protagonist, he loses early, then he comes back and he does something cool and wins. That's standard shonen. Kizaru talking smack while fighting Luffy just goes so well with his character where it's like, you're fighting a Yonko, bro. This is Monkey D. Luffy. And he's like, yo, why are you trying to protect Vegapunk? Which again, gives us more about Kizaru's character because as menacing as Kizaru is, as aloof as he seems to be sometimes, bro, it's all about the mission. Like going back to Sabaody again, looking at it, he was trying to just leave Rayleigh. He's like, bro, you're making my job difficult. Just leave me alone. Tries to leave Rayleigh. Rayleigh slashes him, say, no, Borsalino. Like things are sometimes unexpected. You got to prepare for it, right? That's just life. But that's what he said. So for Kizaru, it's all about the mission. I can respect it, but sometimes like, there's so much nuance. I don't know if it can always be about that. For him, that's paramount. Like he's fighting against Luffy. He kicks Luffy away and then he just leaves him and goes towards Vegapunk. Like no follow-up. It's not personal, bro. Like I don't care about you, bro. I'm just here for Vegapunk. Like I'm here to secure the Lavo Stratum, York. Like I have a mission to do. Punk Records, York, Vegapunk, I don't really care about you. Nostalgic. It's cool to see you guys again. It's been fun, right? You guys escaped. But that's not what I'm here for. Maybe we'll meet again. Johnny. I like it. Now, Kizaru, in the midst of being a cog, has a heart because Luffy's asking him, why do you want to kill Apple Gramps? He's like, well, I want to. Not necessarily a want. It's kind of like a duty. Okay, then Kizaru fighting Luffy, he does a move we've never really seen him use before, which of course Oda saves his characters, and this is why he saves them, so that we can be surprised by certain things that they do. He completely just leaves Luffy. Luffy's like, yo, where did he go? And then he blitzes Luffy, right? We've had this conversation before about blitzes. We're not gonna get there. We're not gonna go there again. But he says, yo, I don't want to kill him, yo. I've known him for a long time. It's like, it's kind of what I have to do. But he just says basically speed is power. I know a lot of Sanji fans got bricked up after they saw this because it's like, yo, we told y'all, speed is power. Yes, I can understand that, but he just completely blitzes Luffy. It's a lot going on there because first is Kizaru. He's a light man, uses the distance as basically a wind-up to blitz Luffy. Luffy is not only overwhelmed by the speed, but also the light. It's a lot going on there, where going forward, he's probably going to fight Luffy or fight Kizaru if this fight extends with his eyes closed because, well, you can't see anything anyway. And Luffy has used observation haki with his eyes closed. That's how he was able to hit Katakuri the first time. Sensing intent, which is essentially what observation haki is. So a cool moment. Oda is trying to solidify the Admirals, but also showing Luffy that, like, got a little ways to go. Kidding. I think Luffy's stronger than Kizaru. I just want to put that out there. I just think this is just how Luffy fights. He gets overwhelmed, then he adapts, like I just stated. Anyway, let's move on. Kizaru kicks Luffy through the robot that was supposed to take the ship to the island and fly over the fleet. That plan is up in flames, literally. And, well, we got to call out probably one of the dumbest things we've seen in a One Piece chapter in a long time. Not really dumb, more funny, but dumb. Frankie sees Kizaru, a light man. You know what Frankie does? A light attack. Frankie, I don't think that's gonna work. And because it didn't work, I think that's setting up for another attack by Frankie. As I've been saying for a long time, Frankie will use the gloves to punch Kizaru. It doesn't matter how fast he is. It doesn't matter how strong he is. The gloves were created for a reason. The gloves were the reason why I said Kizaru would be an egghead. I don't know. I feel like it just makes sense. Based on like the size of the gloves as well. Atlas had the gloves. Frankie's gonna put the gloves on and punch Kizaru. Not sure why. I mean, we know why. Not sure when, but it's gonna happen. Book it. So like I stated, Kizaru's interacting with Bonnie again and talking about Kuma. And says she grows up fast. Like again, it's hinting that Bonnie grew up around the Admirals, around this environment. Because Kuma offered himself, so I guess he's been a warlord since Bonnie was a kid and she was with him. Like, W-Dad, W-Dad, W. There's not many W-Dads in One Piece. As good as Homing was, like doesn't get the appreciation because, either way. Bonnie tries to attack Kizaru and he says, yo, it's like, don't let me hurt my friend. And he does like a casual heel kick and sends her flying. Like he doesn't want to hurt her. It's just like, bro, stop. I'm not here for you. Right? I'm not here for you. Let me vibe. Either way, Kizaru then goes to where they are. Vegapunk, Usopp, Brook is there as well. What was funny about that is that like one of the final moments in Sabaody before the Straw Hats got sent away or for really pulled up was like Usopp sending attacks towards Kizaru and Brook like stabbing him relentlessly and none of it working. So now seeing them like right behind him, it's a lot. It's a lot. It just like, bro, like what? Oda, like, why do you do this? Kizaru keeps reiterating that it's not easy for him, with Vegapunk. And we saw like they have history, but he has to do a job and it's difficult, right? But even in the midst of that, here comes Luffy. Gear 5 is here, grabs Kizaru like a little light doll, right? And Kizaru's like, yo, is it? He's now in Luffy's palm. It's like every time Gear 5 just comes out of nowhere like this, it's somewhat like, it makes it seem like I'm not reading One Piece anymore because it's so absurd. Like, yo, it went from just being this, cool Gear 4 clash, and then it's like Gear 5 grabbing him like a little child. It's like, yo, what is happening? Like even Vegapunk's like, yo, what? And of course, with Gear 5, everyone is kind of sucked into his pace. So then the eyes are bulging out. It completely transforms the manga. It turns from a manga into like a comic strip, like Kaido said. Kizaru knows about Nika, right? Because he's like, yo, so he has history about it, and he seems a bit terrified, right? He's like, whoa. And with Nika, when Nika's around, I don't want to say it kind of sucks the energy out of the room because it brings the energy, but you can't compete against the Nika fruit for the most part, unless you're Kaido. So Kizaru is pretty much screwed, right? He's screwed, but that wasn't a major, right? That wasn't a major revelation from this chapter, by the way. Like as cool as Kizaru versus Luffy was, had fun with agendas and just like going back and forth with Yonko versus Admiral. That wasn't the most important thing. The most important thing is, well, I was going to talk about the barrier because Luffy highlights that the barrier, he had to cross the barrier twice and it really hurt him. So something that I would say is that I think Kizaru definitely hurt Luffy, right, with his kick, but the barrier definitely hurt him. And it's implying that it hurt him more. I got to concede on that point. It definitely implied that it hurt him more. Somebody said this and I had to, soften my stance. Basically, the barrier is based off of Kizaru, and Kizaru, of course, is experimented on, and they use a lot of things. However, technology is amazing, and I think I was underestimating technology when I was reacting to the chapter because the Mother Flame is something that was created by technology. And, I would assume the Mother Flame, if you get hit by that, it's probably will hurt more than a Kizaru kick. So it's just, semantics there, not as important, but it is interesting that Luffy was hurt by that barrier, which I wonder if, like, for instance, the Seraphim, can they replicate this? Can they create this barrier and have the Seraphim replicate that in an attack? Like, this is Gear 5. This is Luffy, right? And he's being hurt by this stuff. A Yonko of the Seas. We know technology can be overpowered in the story. This is just another example of that. So in all honesty, pretty damn cool. When Two Piece happens, it's going to be like Boruto where they're like using more technology and shit. This is me just saying things because I've watched like 10 episodes of Boruto and the Boruto movie. I've done that. Either way, the most important thing was this robot is coming alive. There's a glint in its eyes now because, again, if you see the kanji, the music, dum da dum da dum da ha ha. Not sure if that's the beat, but that's what's happening. It's coming alive because Nika is around. Why didn't it come alive before when he was fighting Rob Lucci? I'm not sure. Somebody said Luffy's heart wasn't into it because Lucci's trash. That's not my words. That's what people are saying around the streets. Yeah. Good stuff though. Good stuff. With this robot, who knows what this means? This just means, well, for the most part, the Admiral and Yonko fight interrupted. It's going to be more about the robots now because this is coming alive. Who knows what else could come alive, right? This is going to be the most important part of what's happening. Yes, this is the Egghead incident, but it's an incident. What could happen? I mean, if a bunch of robots come alive, they destroy Egghead, they destroy the Marines, the fleet. It creates like a robot army that goes and ascends upon the world. Who knows? But flawless chapter, lore, flashbacks, Yonko, admirals. It had everything, everything. Even some emotion with Bonnie. And I think we're getting set up for a very, 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 very emotional Bonnie flashback with Kuma. Kuma's headed to Egghead, 100%. Headed to Egghead. Dragon, what's your move? Do something. Do something. I would like for Dragon to come to Egghead as well, and we have some maybe some dialogue between him and Vegapunk. I do think some of the punks die. Some more satellites die. I don't think all the satellites are going to Elbaf. I would like to see maybe Lilith continue Stella's will, and I don't know. I feel death flags for Vegapunk, not just because Kizaru was there to kill him, just a bit deeper than that. But yeah, I loved it, and I'm pretty sure you loved it as well. Give me your thoughts. How do you feel about everything? What was your most important thing from the chapter? We gotta talk more about this robot because it's pretty important. I love it.